Look around you, truly look. The world is no longer whispering. It is screaming. Everywhere you turn, someone is begging for attention. People document their breakfast like it's an achievement. Strangers announce opinions no one asked for. Feeds overflow with carefully curated illusions of happiness, success, and meaning. Everyone wants to be seen, but no one wants to actually exist. Silence, the one thing that once shaped kings, warriors, and philosophers, has become a luxury item. In this modern age, being connected is our default state. But if you study history, real history, not the sanitized version, you will notice something. True power never came from the crowd. The greatest ideas in human history were not born in noise. They were born in the shadows, in the cave, in the desert, in the temple, in the winter. You feel stuck because your spirit is bleeding out through 1,000 invisible cuts. Every ping, every notification, every meaningless interaction steals a fragment of your attention. And attention is life. You are leaking energy to people who do not matter, and to apps whose only goal is to consume you. It is time to initiate the Ghost Protocol. It is time to disappear, not to escape life, but to rebuild one worth living. In Norse mythology, Odin ruled Asgard. He had armies at his command, treasure beyond measure, and the loyalty of gods and heroes. Yet he was never trapped by his own throne. Time and time again, he abandoned comfort. He cloaked himself in grey rags, took up a wooden staff, and wandered through the world disguised as a lone traveler, the wanderer. Why would a god do this? Why would a king choose cold roads instead of warm halls? Because Odin understood a law we have forgotten. Comfort kills wisdom. When you are surrounded by noise, you see only what others want you to see. When you step away from the noise, you begin to see what reality actually is. You must become the wanderer, not forever, but long enough to recover your vision. Ghost mode is not about being antisocial. It is not about hating people. It is not about isolation for the sake of isolation. It is a strategic withdrawal. You cannot rebuild a vehicle while it is flying down the highway at 100 miles per hour. You must pull over. You must shut off the engine. You must examine the damage. When you disappear, something powerful happens. You stop performing for others. You stop curating an image. You stop posting stories to prove you are living. You stop debating strangers with empty profiles. And when that applause finally stops, when the digital spotlight fades, you are left with the only person who can save you, yourself. That moment is terrifying, because for the first time, there is no mask, no audience, no distraction. But that is precisely why it is necessary. What happens to your brain when you go dark? Today, your mind is overstimulated. You are flooded with dopamine from constant scrolling, short videos, messages, likes, arguments, noise. You are like a lab rat pushing a lever for validation. And the worst part, you don't even realize it. When you go ghost mode, your brain starts to heal. At first, the withdrawal hits. You feel bored, you feel restless, you feel lonely. You interpret these sensations as something is wrong, but in reality, they are signs that you are detoxing from the overstimulation that has weakened your willpower and shattered your focus. Boredom is not emptiness. Boredom is potential energy. It is the soil where ideas grow. Isaac Newton invented calculus while in isolation during a plague. Nietzsche wrote his greatest works while walking alone in the mountains. The Vikings designed their legendary ships during the long, dark winters when raids were impossible. They didn't have Netflix. They didn't have Instagram. They had vision. Isolation turns the pressure inward. And pressure creates not just diamonds, it creates warriors. While others waste their nights at the club, you are in the workshop. While they debate politics with strangers online, you are building your strength. While they gossip, you are mastering your silence. While they sleep, you sharpen the axe. You are not missing out. You are loading the weapon. The world forgets one brutal truth. The most dangerous man is the one no one sees coming. You do not need to vanish into the mountains. You do not need a monastery. You can transform your life from your bedroom. Here is the 6-month plan. Phase 1. The Purge. Be ruthless. Eliminate noise like a Viking clearing a battlefield. Delete TikTok. Delete toxic apps. Remove the news from your life. The world will not collapse without your attention. Tell your friends you are focusing on a project. The real ones will understand. The rest were only draining your strength. Purify your environment so your mind can breathe for the first time in years. Phase 2. The monk work. Pick one skill. Just one. Not 5. Not 10. 1. Coding, writing, trading, fitness, a craft. Anything that can change your life if mastered deeply. For 6 months, you are married to this skill. Give it 4 hours of deep, undistracted focus every single day. In 6 months, you will surpass what most men accomplish in 6 years. The world rewards mastery, not mediocrity. Phase 3. The shadow. This is the hardest part. You must keep your mouth shut. You will feel the urge to tell others, I'm grinding, I'm working hard, I'm on my purpose. Do not do it. Validation is a leak in your fuel tank. Every time you brag, you release pressure. And the silence, that sacred silence, is where mystique is born. Mystique is power. Power builds respect. And respect builds destiny. Let your results speak when you emerge. 6 months pass, the door opens. You step back into the light, but something has changed. Your eyes are different, your posture is different. The way you speak carries weight. Your silence feels louder than the noise of other men. People will look at you and sense something dangerous, something disciplined, something uncheckable. The ones who stayed in the noise will still be where you left them, stuck in the same cycles, complaining about the same problems. But you will be unrecognizable. You will be a man who no longer needs applause to breathe. That is the definition of a dangerous man, a free man. The ghost mode is not a punishment. It is a resurrection. The winter is coming. Close the door, kill the noise, do the work. Forge the future. And if you stand with this brotherhood, if this message awakens something inside you, then join the ranks of men who refuse mediocrity. Subscribe to the Valhalla Code. Like this video. Share it with a man who needs to hear it. We are building an army in the shadows. Your transformation begins now.